This is my sub. You're taking over Excel now. This is what happens when you take this class. You become power hungry for subs. Okay, so we have this sub. That's not a bad idea. Ryan, where's the subs? How about kick pop subs? Okay, so here's our macro. Let's just do something really simple here. Let's type a debug.print. When we do a debug.print, this is not something the user is going to see. This is something that only appears up in this immediate window. Here's my immediate window. So let's go ahead and print. What we'll do is we'll print this workbook. So we're talking about the workbook that we're working in. When I type this workbook, lowercase, no spaces, and hit a period, a list pops up. Beautiful. This is Excel, what Excel or Microsoft calls IntelliSense. So it's telling you what are the properties and methods of this object right there. Isn't that beautiful? Now look at all the things we can do with this workbook, right? The object is this workbook. We hit a period and it comes up with this list. Look at all these methods and properties. Can you tell which ones are methods, which one are properties? Green's like moving, right? You got these lines by it. It's shape shifting. It's passing in the night. That would be your method. You've got a hand with, is that like some kind of, I don't even know what that, is that a hand? It's like a clipboard. Maybe that would be a property, right? What's the name of this workbook? If we wanted to put name, we could click on name. What is this workbook dot name, right? Let's run that. If I ran this, what happens? It prints out the name of this workbook. Do you see that? Everybody get that? Debug.print. Oh yeah, do you have your immediate window open? Okay, to get your immediate window open, go up to View, and there's the immediate window option, right? View, immediate window. If you close it, you can open it back up. View, immediate window. You can click to drag it if you like it on the bottom. Some people like it on the bottom more. I kind of like it at the top. That's your immediate window. What this has done is you've just told Excel, print the name, because that's a property or method. Which one? Property. Beautiful. Was that you, Hiram? Okay. Very good. Excellent. Okay, so instead of this workbook, let's do this. This workbook dot worksheets dot count. Okay, so what do we have here? We have this workbook. We're talking about this file. Inside of this workbook, there are worksheets, right? We're saying dot worksheets. That's the object now. So we're saying this workbook was the higher object. Then we have worksheets. It's the collection of worksheets, right? Dot count. Count is a property or method. Ryan? Dang it. It was 50-50 chance. It was 50-50 chance, Ryan. I thought you were ready. 50-50 chance. It's a property, right? We're not doing anything with the worksheet collection. We're saying one property of the collection is the number of worksheets, okay? So if I hit enter there, if I run this, I can click play up here to run. I can click F5 to run this sub. Two. I have two worksheets in this workbook. Anybody have anything else? Any other sheets? Okay, great. What if we did this workbook dot sheets dot count? What if we added a workbook? So let's come up here. I'll add some lines or a worksheet, excuse me. I'm going to say this workbook again dot worksheets, because that's the collection we're talking about here. And I can hit tab. If that list comes up, I can just accept it. Dot, and there's a couple different things I can do. Here's my count. I can copy, I can delete, I can move, I can say what's the parent of the worksheet. I can select it. I can make it visible or invisible. How about that? We can invisible sheets. When is yeah, I was just gonna say, when's prank day? When's April 1st? Wait, we missed it. Wouldn't that be crazy if you injected some code into your roommate's computer that says hide all sheets? Yeah, that sounds terrible. Why would you do that to your, it's possible. You now can do this. I'm going to click on add. If I come up here and click on add, or I could type it in, AD, hit tab. What this is going to do is it's going to add what? What is it going to add? Worksheet. That's it. I knew you. See, Ash is ready. I'm just saying.
I know.
Okay, so if I add a worksheet and I run this again, we would expect to see what? We'd expect to see a certain number of count. Now, if my cursor is in the immediate window and I hit play, it's going to say, well, I'm not sure what you want me to run. So it'll pull up the macro list, right? If my cursor is up here, I've got to go back down here, put my cursor inside of the sub, and then run it, and it says 3. And if I come over here, I've got another worksheet. There's worksheet 1, sheet 1 right there. Pretty cool, right? Let's do this a couple, excuse me. Let's do this um, a couple more times. And let's print, before we do that, let's print the name. So again, one of the things we can do is we can print the count, and then we can also print the name. So I'll come down here, debug.print this. Let's do, instead of this workbook, we'll say active sheet. Just like there's an active cell, there's an active sheet object. And we'll say active sheet dot name. And notice when I get my cursor off that line, it capitalizes some words for me. Did you guys notice that? Isn't that nice? I kind of typed this in lowercase, and Excel recognizes this. And I just move my cursor off of the line, and it will say, oh, okay, this is what you really meant. And it kind of recapitalizes that for me, which is nice. So if I run this again, what happens? Now I've got 4. Here's my count. I've got 4 worksheets. What's the active sheet name? The active sheet name is sheet 2. So if I go back over here to Excel, the one that I added is the active sheet. Okay, so far so good. We've counted, we've named it, and we've added. Let's add this. Question?
This active sheet name is just sheet name 2. Yeah, sheet 2.
Yeah.
What's the difference between just setting it to like 4? Because the other one's sheet 1. What? You know, like the name you
No, we haven't done anything yet. No, we could change it.
If you named it differently, would it keep that name then?
Yeah, it would. Yeah, it would. It would be that name. In fact, we can do that like this. One of the ways we can do that is say, this workbook dot worksheets, and then we can also do it by index. So we can give it a name, but we can also refer to a particular worksheet in the collection by number. In this case, the first worksheet is always on the left. So the index works just left to right on the sheets. And if I wanted that to be active, I could say activate. And then I could say something like, let's print this debug.print active sheet.name. This should give me the name. Let's see if I spell it right. Active sheet.name. This should give me the name of worksheet 1, right? Because sequentially, what's happening here? We're adding a worksheet. We're counting how many we have. We're telling us we're printing the name of that sheet up here. Then we're activating the first worksheet and we're printing the name of that first worksheet here. So if I erase everything in my immediate window, come down here and run this again, we should see what? What should we see? Elijah. Good question. It's 1-based counting on collections. It's not 0-based. Yeah, good question. 0 comes in play in arrays. When we talk about arrays, that's down the line. It's after the midterm. But for collections, we start with 1. Great question. Not at all. Why would that be? Oh, it gets more confusing. Don't worry about that. Elijah, what am I going to see if we run this now? What am I going to see up in my immediate window? Yeah, very good. And what's that count going to be when I run this right now? It's going to be 5. That's it, because it's going to add one first, and then it's going to count after it adds. Let's see. So you're saying 5. It'll say 5, sheet 3, and then air traffic passenger, whatever name is. Let's try it. There it is. 5, sheet 3, air traffic passenger statistics. So we added a sheet. We printed the total numbers of sheets. We printed the name of the active sheet. And the reason why that's active is because it goes to the one that's just added, right? When we add a sheet, that becomes the active sheet. Then we said, no, 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 I really want to go back to the first sheet, activate that one, now print the name of that worksheet up there. Question?
The weird one.
I like my favorite kind.
When you were working, not have ever used.
Like real life?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Um,
Like text. Yeah.
a lot of the stuff that I did was taking reports, old reports from old servers, right? You know how in supply chain we have this 50-year gap between the old servers and the new server, Salesforce, and we have Oracle, and then in some remote production critical department, we have like this 50-year-old MRP system that runs on DOS, like pre-Windows or Fortran. And so this server would spit out reports in text files. So one of the things that I did was trying to automate how do you get all these text files inputted into a better system. So I would automate collecting all these text files into Excel, all the data output, right? And we would put it into files. So a lot of automation, mostly, mostly automation. Pulling data in from one old source that, they didn't even have CSVs back then. So pretty interesting. Is that helpful?
Yeah.
Um, there are some fancy ways to do reports, and I've seen a lot of people do reports with them. I didn't really get into the fancy report visualizations type stuff, although it's very powerful, as we will find out this semester. But I didn't do a lot of that. I did more of the data in and out, data trafficking, data that somehow has a negative context. Data trafficking, data pipelining.
Traffic. Traffic. Traffic is a whole.
Hiram, question, comment?
The syntax, the purpose of the debug dot.
Mostly just to print it into the immediate window.
Okay, but
But that actual word, where'd it come from?
well, I like in Python we just use the print.
Yeah, yeah.
So what's the purpose of the debug?
I'm not sure. I think it was just for the programmers to use. It wasn't really for the end user. So kind of hidden from view, so to speak. Because this doesn't show up anywhere in the spreadsheet. Normal user would never see this.
Like it could be like a legacy function.
Yeah, potentially. Yeah, I mean this is from 1995. It's amazing how much is still there from 1995. Yeah, yeah. Okay, great. So let's do a couple more things here. We've activated it. We've debug printed it. Um, let's create an object. So we haven't yet created an object. So if I come up here, clear my immediate window, let's come up to the top of this sub. Usually the top of the sub is where I like to create my variables. We talked about variables before. How many different kinds of variables are there? Quite a few. More than 5. I like that. That's good, Ryan. You got this. You're so ready. So ready. Oh, yeah, it's a pretty good answer too. But we talked about integer, we talked about long, double, single, byte. We talked about all those kinds of string. We talked about currency. We talked about Boolean. Those are probably the most common ones that we'll use. I'm going to create a variable here. Dim is the way that tells Excel create a variable. WS is the name of the variable. So it's going to refer to this WS, that's the name of the variable. And now I'm going to say what type of variable it is. And I'm just going to say as object. So I'm saying dim WS for worksheet. It's kind of a shorthand for worksheet as object. I'm creating an object variable. Now, what's interesting again about the object variable, actually, I don't know if I've mentioned this yet, is the object variable, when we set this up, we're not actually creating any object here. When we're creating an object here, we're just creating a pointer to point to the real object itself. So for example, when I do dim ws as object, I'm going to come down here and I'm going to say on this line, set ws equal to this workbook.worksheets.add. So what I'm doing is I'm creating a reference, right? An object is a reference, and I'm referring to the actual object, which is this new worksheet. That's what that object is. This object up here is simply a reference. It's simply a pointer. It's pointing to this new worksheet. So I can come down here, and at the very bottom here, let's do another debug.print, and let's say ws.name, okay? What I'm saying is I can refer to ws just like we did here with active sheet dot name. I'm saying ws is now an object. Excel recognizes this as a variable name. So when I type in ws.name, it's saying, oh yeah, I recognize that. I know what you're talking about. You're talking about this object up here, which is really referring to this new worksheet. So if I run this guy, what is this going to print? This is going to print the name of this. Even though the active worksheet is going to be the first worksheet, it's still going to print what name? It's going to print the name associated with the workbook that we created of this worksheet up here. So let's run this, and we should see a sheet 4. So there's sheet 4 right there. That is, oh, it printed sheet 4 twice. How about that? Is that what yours did? 3 times? Whoa. Why did it print sheet 4 3 times? That's exactly, yeah, that's like the best answer for this entire class this semester. Because that's what you told it to do. That's exactly right. Here's my 4 debug.prints, right? I have 1 debug print here. This is the number of sheets. Debug.print active sheet.name. This is the first sheet 4 right here, because I told it to print after it was added, right? I added it and it printed the active sheet. It was still active. Then I said, activate the first sheet. What is the first sheet now? So it just so happened that it added this sheet before the air traffic sheet. And so it activated that sheet again. It was already active. And it printed that name again, sheet 4. And then finally I said, print this ws.name, which was referring to the original worksheet that we added, still the same worksheet. So it printed it 3 times. Let's do this. Instead of just adding it anywhere, we can actually, let me delete this one, just so we have the air traffic one first sheet. Let's do this when we create this object. Set ws equal to this workbook.worksheets.add, but I'm going to open with a parentheses. When I do an open parentheses after the word add, there are some options here. The square brackets are optional, just like in regular Excel when we do a function or formula. The square brackets are optional, but we can be very explicit about where we want to add this worksheet. So let's do this. Let's do after : equals. I'm saying I want the after option. And I want to say this workbook dot worksheets 1. Does that make sense? After the first, I'm forcing it to say, I want you to add a worksheet after the first worksheet. That's all this is, right? After the first, add it after, not before. Okay, so now we added this. What's going to happen when we run this again? We should get 7 because we're going to add a new worksheet. The count is going to be 7. The active sheet is going to be, well, let's see, I deleted one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to have 6 sheets. The active sheet is going to be sheet 4. I'm going to activate the first sheet again. It's going to print that name, active traffic passenger sheet, and then it's going to print ws.name. Let's run it. There we go. We did it. Oh yeah, the after : equals. That's just the syntax. It's old syntax, Jackson. It's old. It's old. Do you have a neighbor to help you diagnose your problems? Yeah, open parentheses after colon this workbook dot worksheets and then one in parentheses, the first worksheet. What that returns is it added a new one. Sheet 5 is the new one. It said activate the first sheet, give me the name of that, and then give me the name of the one that you added because that's an object now. ws.name.
Worksheets.
Okay, I think one of the last things we need to do here is, in addition to identifying the worksheet by number, we can also do the worksheet by name. So let's do, let me come down here and we'll say this workbook dot worksheets. And instead of one, whoops, right, pull this up a little bit. Instead of one in here, I'm going to put a name in quotes. So that's another way to refer to a sheet or a cell for that matter, right? We've done that with range, quote A1. We can do that with a workbook. We can do that with a worksheet. In this case, I'm saying this workbook, worksheets, charts, activate that. And let's, just for kicks, let's debug print that name as well. Beautiful. Okay, when we run this guy, we should add another sheet. We should printing off a bunch of sheets. The first one's going to be active. And there is our charts worksheet that we activated. And then we said, give me the name. Okay, very good. Question, comment. What we've done here is we've added an element of the collection. We've referred to an object by index number and by name, which is pretty cool. Not bad. It's going to be really helpful. Let's do one more thing here before we close out this sub and do another sub. Is a loop. We did a loop before. Do you guys remember the loops? Man, loops are just powerful. Let's go through and go through all the sheets and just print all of the names of the sheets in one sub. Does that sound good? So let's do a do and a loop. This is how we do a do loop. This is we start with the do, we end with the loop. By the way, if anybody wants to get out of a do loop, you put in what's called a do events. And often what happens in a do loop is you can be a recurring event and never stop. It can go this, and it will freeze your computer. I mean, it won't go forever. You can power outage or a nuclear holocaust or a. So you want do events there. This do it if you run do, like if I were to run this right now, guess what would happen?
You want me to experiment?
Let me save it. I like to save. It's a good habit to save your file before you run your do loops. So I just saved my file. If I run this right now, what's going to happen? Yeah, it's going to be on a eternal do loop. There's nothing to tell it when to stop, right? There's nothing to say until. So it's going to go do, 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 do. But what do events does is it says, do you need me for anything? If not, I'm going to keep going, right? So do events is a little bit of a pause and I can actually get out of the loop. So for example, I'll run this and it's running. See how I can't do play? I can pause it or stop it. It is in an endless loop, right? I can pause it and see where it pauses at do loops, at do events, sorry. So the do events is the way, if you accidentally, for some reason, run the do loop and you don't have a termination, do events will save your skin. And now I can just click stop and get out of that. And now I can finish writing my loop. But do events turns out to be very helpful. Very helpful, actually. Oh, I can't even tell you how many times. Yeah, yeah, exactly. I was gonna say the worst is when you're running it. In fact, Francis and I ran into this yesterday. The worst is when you write a whole bunch of code, run it, forget to save it, and you're in this endless loop. And the only way to do it is you have to kill it. And it doesn't, I think it brought back most of your code now. I think Excel is smart enough now that it's actually saved. It didn't used to do that. It used to not save anything. You had to rewrite your code. Okay, so for this do loop, what we need is we need a counter. So I'm going to come back up here to the top and I'm going to create a counter. My counter, I'll just use X as a variable name. And I don't need to do a lot with this number because there's not a lot of sheets. I'm just counting the number of sheets here. So let's just use integer, dim X as integer. And there's, again, there's the drop-down list, which is nice. That means it's recognizing what I'm typing. Now I have an integer that I can use. I can come to this loop. Before the loop, I'm going to say X is equal to 1 before I go into the loop. I need X to start someplace, right? So we'll say X is equal to 1. Inside the loop, I'm going to say debug.print this workbook dot worksheets dot let's do name. But which one? See how it's not letting me type in name? Because right now I'm talking about the whole collection. How do I tell it which worksheet to do? Yeah, we're going to do parentheses X. How about that? We're going to use X as an index number to help us go through all those worksheets. So I can say worksheets 1, the first time I go through this loop, what is the name of worksheet 1? And it's going to print that out. Not bad. We also need a couple more things here in this loop that we need. We need to increment the X. If we don't change the X, then it's just going to print, it's going to print one name forever, right? It's never going to change. So we got to change X. So I'm going to say X is equal to X plus 1. Whatever X was, add 1 to it. So I'm incrementing X. Now I've got my increment. Now I've got my print. The last thing I need to do is to tell it when to stop. Do until X is greater than this workbook dot worksheets dot count. This is how many worksheets we have. So once X is bigger than or greater than the count, okay, stop the loop, right? Get out of the loop. We don't even need to loop anymore. You're done with the loop. What's neat about this is we're not telling it beforehand how many sheets there are, right? This is dynamic in the sense that if we have 20 sheets, this code is still going to work. If we have 2 sheets, it's going to work. If we have 1 sheet, it's going to work. So what's nice about this kind of code is we can do this for any number of sheets, which is pretty neat. Okay, so let's run this code. Let me delete my immediate window, and we should see, no, you want to keep do events in there for the rest of your life. There it is. There's all the sheets. I've got air traffic passenger statistic, and then I have 8765435. I don't have 4, 321 charts. So it printed all of the names of the collection. Very cool. We did it. Check your neighbor. Neighbor, I did it. Where's Isaac? Francis?
Yeah.
How do we do? Do without loop. Oh, okay. So you actually have 2 do's. So it's saying you want me to run 2 do loops, do and do. You just have to have one of those. Take off that one, yeah, because the until is with that one. Perfect. So that do goes with that loop. So that's perfect. Yeah, try if that works. Right. Did it work?
Yeah.
Nice.
This I'm pretty sure I just killed like sheets. This is in red. This is in red. I'm pretty sure it was because like I deleted I deleted like some of the worksheets that just spammed them all, and so now it's
Oh,
like
yeah, sure.
referencing like a beginning one. But yeah, and I'll like try and put in like 10 or something, but it just won't work.
Yeah, because there's no 10.
Yeah.
But you should do 1, right? You should be able to do 1.
No.
Oh, you need a dot before the activate.
Wait,
Before that
actually, is that it?
Yeah, and probably there too.
3 for real? Hold on. What about up here?
This work after.
Because it says something with the equals. Like I can run it. It says like okay.
Yeah, there is something wrong there. Did you spell workbook? This workbook dot worksheets. Oh, I think it's worksheet. Let me check. No, I don't think that's right. Do you want to turn it in?
Will we get, extra credit?
No, you don't have to turn it in. I mean, if you want to turn it in, Hiram, you can turn it in.
Wait, we're good now, right? That's Shaka Shack.
Is it good? Good? Does it work?
No.
Let's see.
With worksheets. And then that too. I got
Okay,
that
so
in.
you're working, so I added this to that. That might be the problem. So I put the parentheses part after this ad.
Oh.
And then I took out the other one. Does that make sense? So I had this first, and then I added this and that. Yeah, I think you have it. You have both of those lines. So you can take out that first line. I think that's what threw it. Oh, sure.
Just the only thing that's keeping me from it, so let me just restart it.
Even active. Oh, this is active instead of activate.
Oh, wait.
Gets really close. Active.
Oh, active.
That should be it. Active sheet. I think it's active sheet singular.
Well, activate.
Does that work?
Let's see.
It doesn't work yet. Debug.print space active sheet. Oh, I think it's singular.
Oh, goodness. Dumbest small thing.
I know the small things kill. There it is. Look at you. Look at you do looping.
You have to add loop at the very end, not just do events as we do events.
Yeah, the do and the loop are the ones that create the loop. The do events just allows you to get out of an endless loop.
You put until next to do to say.
That's it. That's it. You got it. And we'll talk more about loops later. This is still pretty preview for loops. We'll spend a couple days on loops. It's really good.
No.
Okay, let's do another one. Here we go. We're doing good. Elijah, I didn't make it back there. How you doing? How's your neighbor? How's Houston? Awesome. Okay, let's do another one. I'm going to create another sub. It's going to be on the same page. And we're going to do this one with books. So we did a lot of worksheet stuff up here in this sheet demo. Let's create another sub down here. Sub book demo, open and close parentheses. I hit enter. Here comes the magic. Ready? It's going to create another sub. It's going to add this long line. It's going to say, oh, you want to create another sub. I'll end the sub for you. Well, thank you. You're the best. And let's do something very similar. Debug.print. We're going to look at the number of workbooks we have open. How many workbooks do you have open right now, Jackson? No blue screen? Just nothing? It's dead. Oh, okay. Don't get a gaming laptop. All right, Jackson has 0 workbooks. Elijah, how many workbooks you got open? You got 1. Anybody have more than 1? Oh, yeah. Worksheets or workbooks? How many workbooks do you have? 2. Okay, let's find out for sure. Debug.print. Interestingly enough, the parent of a workbook is the application itself. Isn't that cool? So you're going to type application.workbooks, bless you, .count. How about that? The parent of worksheet is a workbook, right? This workbook, worksheets. This workbook, worksheets. The parent of a worksheet, the parent of a workbook is the actual application. How about that? That is crazy. It's the right, yeah, that's right. Genealogy. Yeah, that's right. This is referring to the Excel application. If I run this, What do you have? I have one open. Anybody have more than one? Anybody? Two? Two. Rainen, how many you got? One, Francis?
One.
Oh, I thought you had like four. JC? TBD. I just dragged the bar up here. I dragged the bar up there. We got it. Let's do the same thing. So we know how to count. Let's add a workbook. Application dot workbooks dot add. There it is. If we add a workbook, what happens? If I run this now, what's going to happen? Whoa. Whoa. Whoa.
How do we?
Now I can come up here to the immediate window and I can actually use the immediate window to run VBA code without having to run the macro. I come up here to the immediate window and I type in question mark application dot workbooks dot count. And I hit enter. It says I have four. I have four Excel workbooks open, right? Sorry? That's right. I just kept hitting F5 on this until I had more. Here's another one. Here's another one. Here's another one. How many do I have now? Yeah, I lost count. Seven, six. Okay, great. So we know how to count. We know how to add. Let's do another loop and let's close them, shall we? So inside of this one, I'll come down here to this sub. We're going to do another loop. And I'm going to go ahead and put in do events right when I make this loop, just so it's right there. Right there. This is going to be great. Debug.print. And we need to do an X. I need to add my X. I'll come back up here and I'll say, what do I do to create a variable? Dim, that's right. Very good. Dim X as integer is fine. Right at the top. I just need a couple of, I'm not going to have a ton of workbooks. So what's the range of integer, by the way? Plus or minus about 32,000. Perfect. That's great. So that's way more than I need, but that's fine. I'll dim X as integer. So I'm creating X as a variable. Now I'll come down here. X is equal to, wait a minute. Don't I already have an X in the other sub? Do they interfere? No, they don't. Why don't they interfere? They're two subs. That's right. They're two different subs. So I can use an X here. I can use an X there. I can use an X everywhere. Sorry, Dr. Seuss. Yeah, those are separate. After this sub runs and ends, X is like wiped out of memory. It's gone. So I can use another X down here in this sub, and it doesn't conflict at all, right? By the way, did you guys notice that when I did X equals, and then I tried to move another line, it gives me this error message? I don't like that message. Let me change this a little bit. I'm going to go to Tools and Options, and there's an auto syntax check. I'm going to uncheck that, and I'm going to check the one underneath it. Require variable declaration. This says I have to make a variable explicit. So I'm going to check that. But by unchecking this auto syntax check, it avoids having that error. The line is still red if it's syntactically incorrect, but it removes that pop-up, which for me is helpful. No, it'll record it. Yeah, no, it'll stay in there, which is kind of nice. Yes, you will. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Tools and then options. So tools, options, and then this is what it looks like originally. I'm just reverse checking these top two. I'm unchecking the syntax and I'm checking the require variable declaration. If you want to, it avoids that little annoying pop-up every time you do something wrong, which I know it's wrong. It'll still be so for example, it'll still tell me if it's red, it's incorrect, so I know it's incorrect and I can fix it. It's just less annoying for me. But if, for instance, if you want to be annoying, that's fine. Oh, tools, options, and then uncheck this guy right there. Ryan's got it. You can ask Ryan. JC's got it. You can ask JC.
Just save in just this workbook and doesn't go anywhere else. We don't have to keep anything with the tools, or do we have to do that if we want to change it?
For this computer, you're fine. Yeah, it's nice. Okay, so let's do x is equal to 1 to start my do loop, and let's do debug print. What am I going to print? What should we print? Are we going to print? I forgot what are we doing? Oh yeah, just the name. We're going to do x, and we're going to say x comma application dot workbooks dot name, except I want to put this in x here again because we're in a loop, and I'm saying use this x number as the index or the reference number for the workbooks. So I'm creating a loop, and I'm going to print both my x comma the name of all these workbooks. Sound good? Let's try it. So this should be, I should see x, whatever number x I'm on. Well, first it's going to print the count, and it's going to add another one, and then it's going to print x and each workbook name. Here we go. There's the new one, and there is all of the workbooks. Wait a second. Oh, I forgot to tell it when to stop. I'm in an unending loop. What should I do? It's a good thing I have do events. I can pause it. I can stop it. We're okay. Phew. We did it. Okay, great. Let's do a couple of changes here. Let's tell it when to quit. Do until, what should we put here? Until what? Until 100. Let's do this. Let's come up to my x here, and let's do this backwards. Let's do x is equal to application.workbooks.count. So we'll start with x being how many application numbers there are, right? How many workbooks we have open, and then let's do the do loop backwards. Should we do that? Yes, we should. Do until x is less than 2. We'll debug the print. We'll do events. The last thing we need is we need to change x. That's the other thing I forgot to change. Notice how it was the same thing. It printed out 100 times forever because I never changed x. X is equal to what? X close. Are we going up or down? Yeah, very good. You guys got it. X minus 1 because we're going down. We're starting with the count, total count, and we're going to go down. How about that? So this should print what when we run this? Josh. Oh, I love that. When you're just like in the moment, in the groove. That's like the best answer I've heard all day today. Like a good lost or a bad lost? Oh, okay. JC, buddy, what are you doing when Josh is lost? It looked like you were texting somebody. Here's what I'm thinking, Josh. When we run this, first we're going to set up a variable. We're going to print how many workbooks are open currently. And I don't know what I'm up to, 8, 9. Then we're going to add another workbook. Then we're going to say how many are open. We'll put that in X. Then we're going to do a loop. And X is greater than 2, so it's going to go to this loop. It's going to print whatever X is. It's going to print the name of the workbook with that X. It's going to decrease 1x, and it's going to repeat. So it's going to print all of the names of the workbooks. And, one interesting fact here is, um, guess what the order of these workbooks is? The sequence. It's actually not by the name here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It turns out that it's the sequence in which it was opened. That's the sequence of the numbers, not the name. So this name, 1, 2, 3, 4 here is not the sequence that it follows, which is kind of interesting. That's right. Once x is 1, it's going to get out of that loop, right? Do until x is less than 2. So once x becomes 1, it says, oh, x is less than 1. I'm going to not do the loop, and I'm going to come to the rest of the code. Which means what? It means it shouldn't close the original workbook that we first opened, right? That's the one that should stay open. Let's see if it works. Ready? I'll run it. Oh dear, what happened? Beautiful. It did exactly what I told it to do, right? Here's the 8 from the count up here. Debug print the 8. It added another one. Here's my 9. It went through the loop and printed all of those names. Whoops, I just dragged that one down though. Correctly until x was 1 and it left the loop. Great, excellent. Let's do one last thing on this sub, which is, I think I messed this up too. X is equal to x minus 1. Let's close them all. So we'll do application.workbooks.x.close. And that is another method of this collection of workbooks, right? Name here is a property of this collection. Close is a method of this collection. Count is a property. Add is a method. So let's close this. And it turns out there is an option here to save changes. I'll go ahead and type in false here. And that means close the file, don't save the changes. Are you ready? Here we go. I'll save my file. And when I run this code, it's going to print all those names again because the printing is still inside of this loop, debug.print. But it's also going to close all of these books except for one. Here we go. Boom, look at that. So I've got all these books that were, I had 9, I added a 10th one, which was called book 9, and it printed all of them, and then it closed all of them, so I only have one book open. Beautiful. That's really good. Okay, great. Questions, comments, concerns? Josh, are you still lost in your world of code?
But
Did it work?
I think so.
Okay, you only had 3 open, and you only got 1 left. That looks like it worked.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure because I was like,
That looks like it worked.
I'm still catching up.
Oh, you're way over there, Josh. You're way back there. How's it going?
Wow.
It worked. It worked?
Oh.
It worked. Great. Very good. How are we doing over here? Did it work?
Mine closed everything. It's like,
Oh man, and it didn't save your.
I did click save. because
Okay, good.
I hope it did.
Yeah, I think the first file that you opened was the legacy file. Is that true?
Oh, yeah.
So it left that one open, but closed the aircraft stats one. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So if you had opened up the aircraft one first and then the legacy one, it would have closed the legacy and kept the aircraft one open. Jamie, how's it going? You think you got it? Okay, nice. That looks amazing. Great job.
Good.
Good. Raining.
Yeah, like keeps closing the original.
What?
Yeah.
Was that the one you opened first? Do you have another one open?
Nope. This is the only one open.
Oh, your solver. Solver. XLAM. That is probably considered the one that is opened first.
I don't know when.
Well, that's just always opens because you have if you go to data add-ins,
Oh, okay.
That's how that works, is it adds.
So now it doesn't close this one. It keeps opening new ones and closing the old ones.
Until you're adding and you're counting, that's right. That's weird.
I wonder. This should be the same, right?
Less than 2, yeah. Depends on which one you open first, I think.
Oh, oh, I don't know.
Oh, that's right. We add another file in there. You can just comment that file. There's a couple of files in there. We look for it. We just haven't gotten that far. And then there's one down there too. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know about that. That's a good question. That's a good way to debug that though, Raina. That's actually pretty good. Okay, let's do this. Oh, it's only 3:10. This is great. Let's add this idea of a file, opening a file and then closing a file specifically. So we've created files, we've closed them. What if we want to open a specific file? What I'll do is I'll create a new file here. You can create this with me. I'm going to save this file as somebody once told me if you ever wanted to distribute, like some malware, you just put you name a file salary reduction proposal. And you put it like on a USB stick and you put it on the ground of a parking lot and wouldn't that be terrible? Salary reduction proposal. Right? So I'm gonna create just a blank file and I'm gonna save it in the same place where this file's at. So here's the file I'm working on, air traffic passenger statistics. Here's just a blank file that I just barely created. Salary reduction proposal. Close the file. There's nothing there, right? No spaces, but there's a file there. What I want to do is I just want to open this file using VBA because that can be pretty powerful, right? If you can begin to manipulate files, you can open a file, copy some data, pull it into this. All of a sudden, you can open 100 files in automation, pull information into a single file, and you are off to the races. I mean, that's pretty exciting if you know how to do that. So let's do this. Let us come before the loop. In fact, I guess we don't even need the loop, but that's all right. We'll just keep it. Before the loop, I'm going to add a couple of lines here, and let's do application dot workbooks because we're working with the workbooks collection. And I'm going to say open. So dot open is another method of the workbooks collection. And I'm going to say a couple different ways to do this. This workbook dot pack, workbook dot path. So path is referring to the folder path, right? So path comes up in this list. I can say in fact, I can even come up to the immediate window here and say this workbook dot path. And it's going to tell me what is the folder structure for this workbook. It's in the C drive, users, documents, SCM 478 folder, right? And so that's this path, the path of this workbook. That's what I'm saying. Go to this path. I'm going to concatenate that. There's my ampersand. And I'm going to do a backslash for the folder in Mac. I don't know if it's the backslash or the forward slash. You're going to have to figure that one out. Might be the other one. And here's the name of the file. Salary proposal reduction .xlsx. Close quote, close parentheses. This is, actually, I don't need to close parentheses. This is the opening of this file. Does that make sense? Let me make this a little bit bigger, maybe go over here a little bit. This is the command to open this file. And now let's count the workbooks. Let me do debug.print application.workbooks.count. How many workbooks do we have open? At this point, it should be one more because we just opened this up, right? So I'm printing how many workbooks do we have open. I'm adding a random one. I'm counting again. Then I'm saying open this workbook and now count again. Okay, so we should see, I think I have one open right now. It's going to add a second one here. So I can make a comment over here with an apostrophe. Opening a new workbook. Just to help me remember what this line does. This is one way to add a comment into this line. And then it's going to count and put that into X. And then it's going to open this salary proposal reduction and give me another count. So let's do that. And then I'm going to put in here the word stop. Okay. Which means I'm telling VBA to stop running the code. Just stop right here. Don't get out of the file. Still keep running, but don't go past this line with the stop word. Okay. Here we go. Let's run this. Oh dear. Oh dear. What did I do wrong? It says, sorry, we can't find the file. When I click on debug, it says, this is the line that's giving me problems. Oh, I think I named it the wrong name. What's the name of the file? Salary reduction proposal. I think I named it something else in the code. I think I just had the wrong name. Yeah, I just switched it. Salary reduction proposal. Okay, so I'm still paused at this line. Notice the yellow arrow right there? It's like waiting for me to do something. I've changed this name to the correct name. Now I can hit play again, and it will continue to run from that spot, which is kind of nice. What's that?
I didn't type the.
Oh, XLSS. Yeah. Type that in. I'll hit play, and there it is. So it opened the file. I now have, what did it say? I have 3 open now. And it stopped right there. And I'm still running, which is kind of cool. My code is still running, but it's stopped. So here's my salary reduction proposal. Here's my book 11. Here's my air traffic passenger statistic. All 3 of those books are open. And now I can continue. I can just hit play again. I can hit F5, and it will continue to run through this code. And there it is. So it's printed the names up here. And then it's closed everything but these last 2. Okay, very good. What are you getting, JC? The file name?
Salary reduction proposal.
And is that the right name?
It's, yeah, salary reduction.
It's thinking about it. Is this in the same directory as your other file?
It should be.
Okay.
'Cause I just. Here,
Just proposal. That's good.
I'm try.
What is the extension on this file?
This one?
Is it, no, the salary reduction? Is it XLSX?
That'd be under property.
Yeah. see there. XLSM. Okay. So you got to do XLSM instead of
Okay.
XLSX.
So, I created my Excel sheet,
Nice.
not the downloads folder. So it's trying to pass through the downloads folder.
Oh, yeah.
How do I change that?
You can either change the path here.
Mhm.
Easiest way is to put that file into the downloads. Like this file. Did you create this file?
I did create the file, but it's just on my desktop.
Yeah. Can you put it in your downloads file?
So
That's probably the
Oh,
easiest way to
nothing.
do it. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, try it now. The other option would be to get the right path. This way is pretty easy to do that because it tells you the path that's already in. Um, but yeah, you could literally pull. I mean, I think part of the other part of that question is you can change whatever path you want to use to open whatever file on your computer, right? You can manually type that in. In this case, we've already got a property of this object, so we can type that in. And that's nice that everybody can do that because we'd all have different file folders, to do that with. But that's it. We did it. What do you guys think? Pretty cool?
Good.
Not bad. Can I show you one more thing? We have a few more minutes. What if you wanted to open a workbook, but not let anybody know that you're opening is this sneaky? This is not intended to be like sneaky. Brother Chapman, you're obviously recovering from what can be diagnosed as office PTSD. That might be true. But in addition to that, there is some justification to say if you're giving a person who's not familiar with VBA code or Excel for that matter, and you're telling them to run some code and push this button with your mouse, you know what I mean? Click right here on this button. It could be it could be startling to see a whole bunch of files start opening up on their computer. It may be better for their safety if you hide some of those files, right? Just not make them visible. You can still do all this work. So there is a way to do that. And let me just show you that it is capable. That sounds good. We'll just start with the capability. Um, let's see. Is that what I really want to do? How much time we have left? All right. The short version of this, I won't go through the whole thing, but the short version is we actually create an object that is an Excel application. So here's how it starts. If I did a sub change WB invisible, if we wanted to keep this invisible, we would come here and say dim Excel object, and that's just the name as object. And we would say set this object equal to create object Excel.application. In other words, what this is doing is it's running a new instance of Excel, right? And by default, that actually is invisible. It doesn't show up. You know how you can run two different instances of Excel? I was doing this the other day. I was running Excel, running some code. It got into a loop, and I didn't want to wait for it to stop. So I opened up another instance of Excel on my computer, and it let me just do whatever I wanted to do in Excel while the other one was frozen, right? So I'm opening up two different instances of Excel here, and then I can go back and do what I did before, which is I can open up other files and they will be invisible, right? So I can say object Excel dot workbooks dot open, and I can say this workbook dot path. And this is probably less important, so you don't have to follow this too closely. Proposal dot xlsx. So I'm opening that workbook, and let's say I go in there and just say within that Excel object or within that workbook, I can say workbooks one dot worksheets. Let's do active worksheet because there's only one. Active sheet dot cells one. The first cell on that sheet is equal to hi there. It's and I'll just put like a random time now. And then I'll close it. And I'll say it's true for saving it. So what I'm doing here is I'm creating a new instance of Excel. I'm going to open this salary reduction proposal file. add something to the first cell and close it, and you're not going to see it. Ready? Here we go. Let's see if this works. That's not what I was expecting. Let me try one more thing. Let me save it first before I close it. See if that works. It's actually been a while since I've done this one. Okay, I think I got it. So now when I run this, well, I already saved it. Oh, it was open. That was my problem. Okay, it just ran and then nothing happened, right? My hourglass changed. Didn't see anything. And now when I go into the file itself, we should see, hi there, it's 324, 324.47. There it is. So it actually opened it up, put some data in there, and I didn't even know it. Is that spooky? Maybe that's too spooky. I didn't know this class was going to be that spooky. Okay, last thing I want to do is the charts, and we're done. Yeah, I could totally do this in 5 minutes. One more sub. Here we go. Sub chart demo. And what's really interesting here is the opportunity to move all these charts around the page. We can put them anywhere. But it turns out the one big concept from charts is that each of these charts, the parent of a chart object is a shape object. It's something we don't really see very much in Excel. It's not something we're familiar with. So inside of a shape is where the chart is, which is kind of weird. Here's what I mean. I'm going to create a variable SAHP as shape. And let me go ahead and create another variable as worksheet. Dim_s as worksheet. So I have a shape and a worksheet. And let's say, let me set S equal to this workbook dot worksheets, and I'm going to name the chart object here. I don't think, I think it's charts plural. There we go. So this is where I am saying, oh yeah, S is an object variable, and so it's just pointing to the real object, right? This S here is an object pointer pointing to this worksheet. So I've set this up as S. Now what I can do is I can set the shapes. Set a shape object equal to S dot shapes. There it is in my list. And I'll just do the first one. So I'm setting one of these shapes to be the SHP. All right. And then let's do stop. And let's run this. And now I can say one of these charts is this SHP. So let's do really, now I can come up here and I can say, what is the name of this shape? SHP.name. Chart 4. Does that tell me anything? Well, I think these charts all have names. I'm not sure exactly which one's chart 4. So not too helpful. What if I were to do SHP.top? That's going to tell me a number. Okay, 611. It's not pixels, but it's like something with units. One of these is 611 from the top. That's the one that I'm working with. That's my shape. What if I did SHP.top equals to 10? I'm going to run this code, tell it to move the chart basically to the top. When I do that and come back to my Excel, Asia is my shape 1. I think it was down here at the bottom. Yeah, it came from right here all the way up here, chart 4. So charts 1, 2, and 3 already been deleted. And I'm moving that based on this code, right? So I'm telling it where to put this chart. I could move this, right? I could say, take that shape and make the left equal to whatever the current left is plus 100. And now it's going to move it over, right? It's moved from here to here, basically 100 units of something. It's not pixels. If I do it again, it'll move it over again and keep moving. as many times as I wanted to. Way over here. So this is one of the ways that we control objects inside of our files, in this case, charts and shapes. I think that's it. I think I'm out of time. Any questions? Okay, very good. I have maybe 5 minutes to stick around for any questions on the assignment that's due today. Other than that, we'll see you guys a week from today.
We did the,
A week.
By Tuesday.
uh,
What's Tuesday?
day before we had class.
Well, no, Monday, no, I have class because of the holiday. Tuesday, right?
Oh, no, not this case, not this semester.
Well, sure, dang. The next one. There's Juneteenth and change.
So we are having class on Tuesday or not?
Tuesday's a normal Tuesday.
No class.
No class Monday.
We're good.